You have such beautiful hair.
The lady smiled as she passed me in the mall. Why, thank you. I shook my hair slightly for emphasis. That was only my 50th compliment about my hair today, and my ego was loving it. You see, ever since I was small, I had this thick, gorgeous hair that was always the envy of girls in my class from as early as preschool. At age 5, I began doing shampoo commercials, and I've been doing them ever since. With mom and dad running their own financial firm, I was left home alone a lot. Don't feel sorry for me just yet. Keep watching my story and see how everything worked out. Oh, and before I forget, I met my boyfriend Marco at one of the commercials I did. His hair wasn't as great as mine, but then again, whose hair was? Yes, Marco. I walked up the driveway and found my keys in my purse. I'll meet you around 6, but don't keep me waiting this time. I turned the key into the hole and pushed open the front door. I came face to face with Mom as she tried to fight off a tall, heavily bearded man. As soon as Mom saw me, her face grew pale. I saw the fear in her eyes.
Beverly, run!
Without thinking twice, I ran out of the house all the way to the bus stop. I sat on a bench and panted.
Hello? Hello? Bev, what's going on?
I forgot that I was on the phone with Marco. Marco, something happened. Can you come over? Marco agreed, and then we hung up. Who was that man? I'd never seen him before in my life. I didn't have to wait long for a bus, and approximately 30 minutes later, I arrived at Marco's. He was waiting on the front porch for me. He ran up and hugged me.
Babe, you're shivering. Let's go inside.
I nodded and allowed Marco to guide me into the house and to the kitchen. His parents were just like mine, very busy and hardly at home.
Did you call your dad?
Marco poured me a glass of juice as I sat by the kitchen table. Oh no, how could I have forgotten to call Dad? I quickly called Dad and explained everything to him while Marco prepared sandwiches for us.
Keep your phone close by.
Dad hung up the call. Marco placed the sandwiches on the table, but I pushed mine away.
Bev, everything will be okay.
Marco stood up and held my hand.
If you don't want to eat, then let's watch a movie together.
Marco took my hand and we went to the TV room where he switched on a movie. After a few hours, my phone rang and I answered frantically. Hello? Hello?
Bev, I've got Mom. Listen carefully.
Dad gave me an address to meet them and said,
Don't tell anyone, not even Marco.
The line went dead. I've got to go. I grabbed my purse and kissed him quickly. I'll call you later, I said on my way out. About 15 minutes later, as I passed an alley that was close to where Dad told me to meet them, I felt someone grab me around my waist and they threw their hand over my mouth and pulled me into an alley. I struggled until I heard Dad's voice.
Beverly, it's me.
Dad spun me around and I hugged him. My eyes landed on Mom. She had a swollen eye. I hugged her and cried.
We don't have time for this now. Beverly, give me your phone.
I handed Dad my phone and I watched as he separated it and destroyed it quickly. But Dad!
Let's go.
Dad held my hand and I followed him. The three of us wove between the streets and alleys and hid in the shadows until we came to a mountainside. With the help of Mom and Dad, I was able to reach the top. How far again? I wiped the sweat from my brow.
We're almost there.
Finally, we arrived at a large bronze gate. Dad punched in the numbers and the gate slowly opened and we headed into the house. The house looked like an old Victorian house from the late 50s on the outside, but once we got inside, it was modernized. As soon as the door closed, I looked at my parents. I demand to know what's going on.
Well?
Dad walked further into the house.
Your mom and I aren't who you think we are.
I raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Mom added.
We steal for rich families.
I gasped. Is this why you're never home? Because you're common thieves?
There's nothing common about what we do.
Dad's eyes grew dark. I ignored Dad and continued. So you're common thieves that, let me guess, are running from the law? What did you do, leave a fingerprint for the police to find? Dad raised his hand to slap me, but Mom caught it just in time.
Beverly, when we went to retrieve the bracelet for our client, a $2 million bracelet, which was for the client's daughter's 18th birthday, I got jumped.
And it never would have happened, but you insisted on doing the job solo.
Dad rubbed his temples. I laughed. So another thief stole from you? That's laughable to say the least. This time, I got slapped, but it wasn't from Dad. It was from Mom.
If we don't find the bracelet, all of us will never be seen again. You better pull yourself together and stop with the snide remarks. I have plenty more where that came from.
I rubbed my face and willed myself not to cry. Why can't you just tell them you didn't get the bracelet?
Because?
Dad looked between Mom and I.
The bracelet was already paid for, and that's what they're expecting. We need to find those thieves before the client finds us.
Honey, one more thing.
Mom looked at me strangely.
You'll have to cut your hair.
What? No.
It wasn't a suggestion. You will be cutting your hair. And Gina, get out the tattoo kit. I think she'll look nice with freckles. They already have the pictures we need to create different personas. Let's get to work.
Over the next few hours, I changed from Beverly Madison to Faith Stevens. I cried throughout the entire process, from Mom cutting my hair to her tattooing freckles on my face. After a few hours, Mom, Dad, and I looked completely different. I couldn't believe my parents were doing this to me. They ruined my life. After my new look, I found a bedroom and locked the door. I hated my parents. Good parents don't bring harm to their children. Suddenly, I heard Mom as she spoke on the other side of my door. I opened the door slightly. Mom had a phone. I knew what I needed to do. Later that night, I snuck into the room my parents shared. Mom was fast asleep, but Dad was nowhere to be found. The phone was on Mom's nightstand. I grabbed it quickly and headed back to my room as quickly as I dared. As soon as I was safe inside, I locked the door and called Marco.
Hello?
His voice was husky. Hi, babe, it's me. You'll never guess what my parents did to me. I told them where we were and what transpired that afternoon at the house. I wish I could be with you, I groaned.
Why can't you? Leave now and I'll pick you up halfway. We'll talk to my parents and we'll find a way to handle it.
After a few minutes, I put the phone in my purse and slung my purse over my shoulder. I carefully slipped out the window and bolted to the front gate. I quickly scaled it and ran. As soon as I felt safe enough to stop, I called Marco and he picked me up.
Babe, I didn't recognize you. What did your parents do?
He asked as I jumped into the passenger seat. Thank you for coming. I knew I could depend on you. We passed the exit to get to his house. Where are we going?
My dad has a cabin by the Lapinot River. I figured you'd be safer there.
We arrived at the cabin at 2 a.m. We were both so tired we fell asleep on the sofa. But when I woke up, I didn't expect things to take a turn for the worse. I opened my eyes slowly. They felt heavy and my head spun. It took me a while to realize where I was and that Marco and I were tied up in chairs. I was able to move the duct tape from my mouth after 10 minutes and I whispered to Marco, Marco, wake up. Please, wake up. I repeated. After a few minutes, his head moved from side to side until he stared at me. Just then, the door opened.
You brats are finally up.
Mom leaned against the doorframe. Mom, what are you doing here? Why are we tied up? Mom laughed.
You really thought I was asleep? You're as quiet as an elephant.
Mom rolled her eyes.
I knew you'd take my phone once you realized I had one. Once you had that, I was able to track you here.
Another person entered the room.
Hey, kids.
Marco's dad smiled. Mom, what is this?
Well, Leo and I are business partners.
He grabbed Mom and kissed her. Can you believe it?
Is that all I am?
Leo, not here.
Ew. Mom, where's Dad and what did you do?
As I was saying, Leo and I are business partners and we got a new buyer. We're on our way to take the bracelet to them right now. You and Marco will be used as collateral damage if need be.
But, Mom!
Don't but Mom me. I never wanted you. Your dad, on the other hand, always wanted a daughter. Imagine he even said he wanted to give up our lifestyle to spend more time with you. I wasn't about to let that happen, so I got rid of him.
We've wasted enough time, Gina, shall we?
Mom smiled and walked behind Marco and I and hit us over the head. We both fell unconscious. I woke up to someone pouring water on my face.
Wake up, princess.
Leo snarled.
If either of you make a sound, that'll be the last sound you make, understood?
Marco and I nodded. Our hands were tied behind our backs as we were dragged out of the van and into the warehouse by Mom and Leo. One of the bodyguards at the entrance showed us to the waiting room. There were no windows nor any furniture in the room, except one tiny table in the corner. The door opened and a man in a suit with a briefcase walked in with 2 bodyguards.
Do you have the bracelet?
Mom pulled out the bracelet. The man took it, walked over to the table, and got to work. After inspecting the bracelet, he looked at the bodyguards.
Tell the boss it's the real thing.
One of the bodyguards left and returned shortly with the boss. Dad wore headphones on one ear, just like those secret agents, and was dressed in a black suit. I could tell Leo and Mom were also shocked by the nervous glances they shared.
Hello, Gina.
Dad nodded in Leo's direction.
Leo, Release them.
He nodded to his bodyguards. Marco's and my ropes were untied and I rubbed the bruises on my wrists.
But how?
Mom stepped back fearfully. Dad cut off Mom.
I should be surprised, but honestly, I'm not. When I heard your plans for my informant, I didn't want to believe it, but I had to check it out.
Informant?
Mom raised an eyebrow.
Yes, his informant.
Marco stepped forward. Has my entire life been a lie? I screamed. Marco tried to hold my hand, but I pulled away.
Okay, boys, you can take them away.
Dad said into the speaker of his headphones. Men dressed all in black barged into the room, handcuffed Mom and Leo, and took them away.
I'm sorry, Beverly. I had to go through the motions with Mom or we would never have caught her, and she would have been bad for business.
All it's ever been for you is business. Maybe you should try working on your family, Dad. I pushed past Dad and Marco and walked out of the warehouse. About a year has passed and, well, things are still shaky between Dad and I, but he's been home a lot more. As for Marco, I ended the relationship. I mean, what kind of boyfriend keeps secrets from his girlfriend? I mean, I can't get rid of Dad because he's family. Or can I?
Hi, my name is Lucy, and I'm from Canada. When I'm not busy fantasizing about Josh, the hottest boy in school, I lead the math and science club, aka the Nerd Squad. One day, my sister Mel caught me kissing my bathroom mirror, pretending it was Josh. She got it all on video and shared it with the entire school. I was humiliated. What do you think Josh said when he saw the video? Watch till the end to find out. Mel and I were 1 year apart, Mel being the older one. Our dad raised us and neither of us had ever met our mom. Every time we asked our dad about her, he said that she left right after I was born, married another man, and moved to another country. She was definitely not winning the Mom of the Year award. Josh is so hot. Every time I see him, I'm tempted to just grab him and kiss him. I walked up to my bathroom mirror and started to kiss it, pretending it was Josh. I was leaving lipstick marks all over the ice-cold mirror, but I didn't care. Josh, you're such a good kisser. I kept kissing the mirror as I caressed it with my hands, imagining Josh's perfect face. You're such a psycho, Lucy. The sound of Mel's laughter startled me and I hit my nose in the mirror. Ouch! I turned angrily, clutching my now bleeding nose. What are you doing in my room? Dad sent me to get you and I walked in to see you violating the poor mirror. I can't believe I got all that on video. Wait until I show it to everyone at school. Tracy will love this one. I was horrified. Tracy was Josh's girlfriend and the leader of the Mean Girl Crusade at school. I grabbed Mel trying to take her phone away from her, but she wrestled herself free and ran out of my room. By the time I got to school, everyone, and I mean everyone, had already seen the video. When I walked to my usual table in the cafeteria during lunch, my friends all packed up their trays and walked away. Lucy, right? I was startled from my nightmare by Josh. Wait, why was he talking to me? The last time he even looked my way was when he was failing calculus and Mrs. Roger, our math teacher, asked me to help him out. By the time I was done tutoring him, I developed a huge crush. I knew he was dating Tracy, but I didn't care. I was in love. Hello? Josh waved a hand in my face. Oh, yeah, how may I help you? Good God, I sounded like some customer care representative waiting to serve him. So, you think I'm a good kisser? I was going to die of embarrassment. Josh, I'm so sorry. You weren't supposed to see that. It's okay, I don't mind. I think it's kind of sweet that you have a crush on me. Maybe we could hang out sometime. What? This had to be a prank. Josh was smiling, waiting for my answer. Okay. Sure, If it isn't Lucy, the mirror-kissing loser. Tracy walked up and stood next to Josh. Mel and a bunch of other girls joined her. You can fantasize about Josh all you want, but he's mine. Right, Josh? Josh stayed silent. But Josh had been so kind to me a few seconds ago. Was he that afraid of Tracy? I got up from the table, tears already falling from my eyes. I tried to run, but Tracy blocked me. She grabbed my lunch tray and dumped it on my head. Hot soup dripped from my hair to my face. Then she shoved the tray at me. Here, how about you kiss that? Maybe it can be your new boyfriend. She flipped her hair, high-fived her friends, and they walked away laughing. Mel looked back at me and I saw how sad she looked, but she never stayed to help me. She quickly followed Tracy back to their table. Josh watched me with a horrified look on his face. Lucy, I'm so sorry. Let me help you clean up. Stay away from me. I ran out of there, leaving a trail of soup and most of my lunch on the floor. From that point on, Mel started to avoid me both at home and in school, and she became even meaner to me. She was ignoring me when she was the one that released the video and humiliated me at school. Why was she suddenly treating me like the bad guy? School became a nightmare. I even begged Dad to let me drop out and get a job waiting tables or something. He said I was being dramatic, but I wasn't. I sat alone in class and at lunch. Kids made kissing sound whenever I walked by. One day, I walked into class and Tracy shouted, "Here comes Lucy, the mirror kisser. Everyone, hide your mirrors," causing everyone to burst into laughter. Just then, I received an anonymous text from someone who claimed to be my secret admirer. They said they liked me a lot and that I shouldn't let the kids at school get to me. At first, I didn't text back, but the person kept texting me every day, sending funny videos and memes that made me laugh. I gave in and started to text back with some funny stuff I saw on the internet. Whoever they were, they made my life at school so much easier. I asked if they'd reveal who they were, and they texted back saying soon. How mysterious. Who do you think it is? One day after PE, I went to the locker room to shower and change, but just when I was washing my face, someone pushed me and I slipped on the slippery floor, landing on my butt. I tried to see who it was, but I was blinded by the camera flashes in my eyes. Other girls were taking photos of me and laughing. I screamed my lungs out trying to cover myself. Soon, the flashes stopped and I was left all alone. I picked myself up while crying, put on my clothes, and ran out of the locker room. The next day, I found the word "freak" spray-painted on my locker door. I went to open my locker, but it burst open and I was sprayed with a thick green fluid. Everyone was now gathered around me, laughing and throwing flyers at me. What was going on? I picked one of the flyers and noticed a picture of me butt naked in the girls' shower. I had had enough, and I was very furious now. I screamed as the gooey stuff got into my eyes and mouth. I took one of the flyers and wiped my face with it. Who is responsible for this? Show yourself, you coward! I am sick of these stupid pranks. I stomped my feet and screamed. Tracy stepped forward, laughing. Of course, Mel stood close by her. It was me. What are you going to do about it, prison baby? What did you just call me? Freak? Prison baby? Prison baby? I was very confused. And then Tracy threw photos of a woman in an orange prison jumpsuit at me. I noticed the woman in the photos looked a lot like Mel and me. Yeah, you are the daughter of a convict, and you were born in prison. No wonder you're a thief who wants to steal Josh away from me. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? Stop lying, I don't know this woman. I was angry and ready to attack her, but Mel stepped forward and held me back. Please, stop, Lucy. She looked embarrassed and her head hung in shame. Everything Tracy said is true. What are you talking about? Everyone in the hallway had gone silent watching the drama unfold. The woman in the photo is our mom and she's in prison. Dad has been lying to us. I heard a few gasps. How do you know? Mel explained that she noticed that Dad took secret trips every week, so a few weeks ago, she followed him and was shocked to see him enter a women's correctional facility. Once inside, she saw him sit with a woman. She took photos and confronted him as he was leaving. He was shocked to see her, and he told her that the woman was his wife and our mom. I don't believe you. Look at the photo. She's been in prison for years. Mel was in tears this whole time as she narrated our story, and I just stood there, too stunned to move or talk, just like the rest of the kids who were listening. Well, except for Tracy. She had an evil smile on her face. She was clearly enjoying this. Dad told me not to say anything to you, that he would find a way to tell you eventually. Then why did you tell the whole school? Did you just want to embarrass me? Is that it? I didn't tell anybody. I wrote it in my diary and Tracy stole it. She also found the photos I took on my phone and sent them to herself. Mel furiously wiped tears from her eyes. But you've been so mean to me. You're my sister, but you've made my life so difficult. I didn't mean it, Lucy. Tracy made me do it. She said I had to be mean to you or else she'd show everyone my diary. She's hiding it and has refused to give it back. I was speechless. I'm so sorry. Mel knelt and cried uncontrollably. I wanted to comfort her and forgive her, but it was all too much for me. So I turned to run out of there, but I slipped on the gooey liquid still coming out of my locker. I tripped, but before I could fall, someone grabbed me and steadied me. I looked at my savior and I couldn't believe who it was. It was Josh. I pushed him off me, but he begged me to listen to what he had to say. I need to tell you something. What do you have to say to me? That your girlfriend is an evil witch?
She's not my girlfriend anymore. I broke up with her. Also, I told her I liked you.
Everyone turned to look at Tracy. We all expected her to say that Josh was lying, but she stayed silent. So this is why she hates me?
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't stand up to her that day in the cafeteria.
I was about to walk away when he told me something even more shocking. He revealed himself as the anonymous texter and my secret admirer. What? You? My secret admirer? He nodded and smiled. Although I was excited, I was still paranoid. Josh, please stop playing games. I can't deal with this cruelty right now. Josh grabbed my wrist, spun me around to face him, and you'll never guess what he did next. He pulled me close to him like they do in romantic movies. He didn't even care that his clothes were getting stained by that disgusting gooey liquid. And before I could pull away, he kissed me. For a minute, everything stopped, and it felt like it was just the two of us. But the moment was interrupted by Tracy screaming like a banshee, bringing me back to my senses. She grabbed me and pulled me away from my Josh. She started pulling my hair and we got into an ugly fight. Mel came to my rescue and together we wrestled Tracy to the gooey liquid-covered floor. It was gross. Excited kids cheered wildly, and the commotion attracted a couple of teachers who broke up the fight and ordered everyone to go back to class. We were sentenced to detention, of course, but it was worth it. On our ride home, Dad confirmed that everything Mel told me was true. The next day, he took us to visit our mother. And even though she was practically a stranger, we were happy to see her, and so was she. A few days later, Josh officially asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes. Let's just say I never kissed an imaginary Josh in the mirror again after that. Mel and I worked out our issues pretty fast. She was my sister after all. And we promised each other not to let Tracy or anyone else get between us ever again.
Hi, I'm Abigail, and I'm from Kentucky. My sister is better than me at everything, and it's so annoying that I decided to put an end to it once and for all. But before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe. My childhood was miserable because of my sister Mandy. In 3rd grade, we had to bring a creation of our own to class. I brought this paper ball I had turned into a model of the Earth. I was pretty proud of it.
Oh, that's cute, Abigail.
Why, oh my God, that's amazing! My teacher turned from my creation to look at Mandy's. She had made a humongous globe made of Lego pieces. I stared in shock. It wasn't fair. Mom had paid for that, but when I asked for help, all she said was, "Do it yourself." Even though parents aren't supposed to have favorites, my mom definitely loved Mandy more than me. And it's not like it's because we're really different. In fact, we're identical twins. But Mom, for some strange reason, prefers Mandy, and it's been this way for as long as I can remember. I'm pretty sure when Mom gave birth to us, she took one look at us and said, "I'll keep this one." The other one you can give to charity or something. I'm sure you can guess which one I was. Anyway, for the first 10 years of my life, I didn't mind that Mom loved Mandy more. That's because my dad loved me more than Mandy. Mandy had Mom and I had Dad. That's how it was. Until one horrible night. It was actually our 10th birthday, and because of what happened that night, my birthday was ruined forever. Dad went out to buy me a birthday cake because the one Mom got had peanuts in it, and I was allergic to peanuts. You know, I'm pretty sure Mom got that cake on purpose just to spite me. Anyway, Dad went out to get me a cake that I could eat, but, well, he never returned. The police didn't know what happened to him. The last time anyone had seen him was at the bakery where he had picked up the cake from. After that, he had disappeared, as if out of thin air. Sometimes I dream about Dad coming back home, alive and well, but it's been 6 years since that horrible night, and I've had to accept that Dad's never coming back. Now, with Mom spoiling Mandy and leaving me behind, life got pretty miserable. Mandy didn't do anything about Mom's unfair treatment, and she seemed to love being better than me at everything. I started to believe I would never be happy again until the day of the donuts. You're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Well, one day after school, I went to the donut shop because I love me some donuts. I ordered one and they handed me over the fluffiest, most delicious donut you can imagine. I pulled out my wallet to pay, but I had no cash. I forgot that Mom had taken my pocket money from me earlier that morning so that Mandy could buy these new pair of boots she really wanted. I stood there frozen in the line. I had already taken a bite out of my donut. How was I going to pay?
What's taking so long back there?
Oi, hurry up!
I started to lose it until I felt a gentle hand on my shoulder.
That's okay. I'll pay.
I turned to see Robert Pattinson's doppelganger beside me. Seriously, he was so hot. The dude paid for my donut and I stood there speechless because he was just so dreamy. We moved away and I finally gathered up the courage to thank him.
Hey, no worries. I love the donuts here. Do you come here often?
I do. I live for these donuts. What's your name?
Mac?
Like the cheese? He laughed and I felt my knees buckle. He had the cutest laugh.
What's your name?
I'm Abigail.
It's nice to meet you, Abigail.
It's nice to meet you too, Mac. And the rest is history. Well, not quite. I'm not done with my story, but you get the gist. We hit it off right away. Within the week, we had already said the L word to each other. For those of you who don't know, I mean love. And we were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. I didn't care if Mom didn't love me and if Mandy beat me in everything. Mac was the one for me and I was so happy. But then, like all things in my life, it all fell apart. I was by my school locker. Suddenly, everything went black. Someone was covering my eyes.
Guess who?
I smiled. Is it my cheesy baby? That was my nickname for Mac. Weird, I know, but it was our thing, okay? Don't judge me.
Yep.
I turned around and kissed him.
Last night was amazing.
I frowned, confused. Last night?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty surprised to see you at my house in the middle of the night, but man, the rest of the night was great. I think that's the best kiss I ever had.
I was so confused. What was Mac talking about? Last night, I had been at a dinner with my friends to celebrate one of their birthdays. I hadn't gone to Mac's house. Right? Surely I hadn't forgotten. But then my eyes looked to the side and I saw Mandy walk by. It suddenly hit me. Oh no!
What? What's wrong?
Mac, that wasn't me last night.
What? What are you talking about?
I can't believe this. You cheated on me with my sister. Some of the students around us stopped and stared. Mac looked so shocked.
Wait, that wasn't you last night?
No? All the color drained from his face.
Oh God.
Ugh, I can't believe this. I backed away from Mac. I can't believe I had just kissed him. It was so disgusting. My sister had been kissing him last night.
Wait, babe, please, you gotta forgive me.
No, how can I forgive you? You cheated on me.
But I didn't know I was doing it.
You should have known. Are you telling me you can't tell the difference between me and my sister? Mac was lost for words.
Please,
Enough, we're through. And I walked away. It was the hardest thing I had ever done, but I just couldn't be with him anymore. Not now that Mandy had had a piece of him. When I got home, I saw Mac had called me at least 50 times, but I ignored the missed calls. I couldn't speak to him. I walked into the living room and found Mandy sitting there. She smiled at me. Hey, sis. I was boiling with hatred inside. How could she sit there innocently after what she had just done to me? She had ruined the only thing that made me happy, my relationship with Matt. Suddenly, all the anger, the years of anger that had accumulated from all the times she ebsted me and humiliated me, tipped over the edge. That's it. I pounced at her. I punched at her and clawed at her face, pulled at her hair. Ah! You worthless brat! This is what you deserve! Abigail, stop! What's gotten into you? You slept with Mac. What? I would never. You did, don't lie. But I'm not lying. I was with my friends last night. We went to the cinema. Ask them if you want proof. I froze mid-punch. Wait, really? Right at that moment, Mom walked in. When she saw me on top of Mandy, she freaked. Get off of her. Mom pulled me off and slapped me in the face. I saw stars. Mom, don't hit her. She deserves it. She's nothing but a piece of trash. I stared at Mom, tears in my eyes. Mandy looked at me. Was it with sympathy or smugness? I couldn't tell. I ran up to my room and slammed the door. It wasn't until an hour later that someone knocked on my bedroom door. In came Mandy. No, get out, get out, get out! Sis, please, you have to hear me out. I didn't betray you. Look! Mandy showed me a picture. Sure enough, it was of herself and her friends at the cinema, and the phone dated them as last night. She couldn't have faked that or edited that, so it was true. Mandy didn't betray me. So then why had Mac lied? It didn't make any sense. I asked Mac about it and he insisted that somebody who looked identical to me had come to his room. If it wasn't Mandy, then it had to be me. Was I losing my mind? How had I forgotten something like that? But no, my picture was with my friends at the diner proved I wasn't there. What was going on? I decided to see a psychologist. Maybe that could help me out. When I arrived at their office, I sat down at the desk and they spun around in their chair to face me. You won't believe who was sitting in that chair. Me! Well, someone who looked identical to me. Hello, Abigail. Oh! Oh, please. Why act so surprised? You're the one that tried to kill me. What? What are you? I'm so confused. Oh, Abigail. The girl who looked identical to me stood up. Ever since you tried to kill me, I've been determined to ruin your life. That's why I tricked your boyfriend. That's why I'm here right now. You're not leaving this psychologist appointment alive. Let me tell you that. I don't understand. Who are you? The girl stopped. Playing dumb, are we? Well. That won't save you. It's a pity. The girl raised a knife. I started to tremble. I wanted to have fun while killing you. The girl pounced and I screamed. But then, right at that moment, Mandy burst into the room and tackled the girl. They rolled around on the ground and clawed at each other while I stared in absolute shock. The knife slid across the ground and I grabbed it. Stop! I have a weapon! They both froze and slowly stood up. Get her, Abigail! It's the evil twin! I looked to her. I know it's you. You're wearing therapist clothes. I forgot. Mandy and I tied the girl up. Give me that! Mandy pointed at the knife. I gave it to her with shaky hands. Then I took a deep breath. You, I said to Mandy, explain everything now. Fine. And Mandy explained everything, but I was not ready for this shock. This is our twin, or I guess triplet, Samantha. I discovered Mom had secretly had another triplet when she gave birth, but she had given it away because they couldn't afford another baby. Samantha grew up in England, but she discovered about us and came over to visit. She met me secretly and called me Abigail. I don't know why, but I just let it slide. I used your identity as a shield. Samantha wanted to meet Mom, but I couldn't let her. Mom gives me so much attention. If Samantha came, then I would get none. I saw what happened to you, Abby. Mandy, how could you? I brought Samantha to a cliff edge. I tried to push her, but I failed. She ran away. Wait, Mandy tried to kill me, not Abigail? Shut up! Samantha cowered under Mandy's threat, and I looked at my sister with new eyes. She was a monster. I have another confession, Abby. What? Mandy started crying. I killed Dad. My whole world felt like it was spinning. What? I cut one of the wires in his car that night he left. When he drove back, I guess he must have slid off the cliff edge and died, lost in the ocean. I'm so sorry. But why, Mandy? Because... I flinched. Who was this girl? He took some of Mom's attention from me. I'm the favorite. I deserve it all. I looked at Mandy sadly. No, Mandy, you don't. I pounced on her, grabbed the knife, and tied her up. I untied Samantha. I looked at her, then at Mandy. You want to steal her identity? Samantha seemed shocked, but determined. Yes. Now we just need to work on Samantha's English accent.